What up everybody, it's your girl July from Kickback Couture. Today I'm going to show you how I master my beats in Reason without any external paid plugins. So I'm going to be doing everything in Reason with Reason rack extensions with the exception of one thing, which will be the meter that I'm using. And I probably won't even need that. So let's go ahead and come up to File. Going to click on New Template, and I'm just going to go with one of the stock templates, empty plus effects, and show you how to use the mastering suite to do this. I'm going to turn the click off because it's annoying, and also turn off loop, and I'm going to drag my beat in. I don't need any of that. Alrighty, so now I have my beat here, and I'll play what it sounds like. Really different. Alrighty, so that is a preview of the beat. I won't play through the whole thing. Now this is the mastering suite right here. I don't have to do anything. It is already here for me, and I have this beat in waveform simply because I made it in a different DAW. You can do this inside Reason itself, inside of your template. All you have to do is go to the master section and find the default mastering suite template or preset. It is in here under mastering. So if you go to Reason Factory Sound Bank MClass mastering patches, you will find it right here, default mastering suite. Alright, now what I'm going to do is right click all of these and reset them. I think it reset when I clicked on it, but no, it didn't. I don't want any of these settings. I'm going to start from scratch, and in fact I won't even use some of these. So this is the process for a basic master on your beat. Now I'm going to loop a section where my beat is the loudest. Let's go ahead and do this for a second so I can see the transients, and I cannot tell. Let's go ahead and put this here. Alright, now I have a loop. Nice. Alright, cool. So I'm going to turn bypass off on the master section, and the first thing we have here is the EQ. Now this EQ isn't going to be put to much use for me unless I'm mastering my beat for an artist. Now if I'm not mastering my beat for an artist, all I would do is engage this low cut. It will cut 30 hertz and below, which we cannot hear. Sometimes I don't cut it because I can feel that 30 hertz and below, and I'd rather have it there. Otherwise, if it's not really making an impact, I won't cut it. So this is with it on. And let's go ahead and turn these off. I forgot about those. Off. On. Not too much of an audible difference in these headphones. However, if you have studio monitors, I'm sure you can tell the difference. I'm going to leave it off for this case. Now, if I was mastering this beat, or just getting it up to a decent consistent level for an artist, then I would throw on parametric. Whoa, my language is not gonna work today. Parametric 2, and I would come up to about 35 kilohertz. Gonna hold down shift for more fine numbers. Nice, and I would cut there. I'll also turn on one. A little bit under that. Let's go for there. Not like that. Q wide gain. And I would do like a 2 decibel or so cut right here in the range where the artist's vocal will be. The artist's vocal will be. And that would sound like this. Bypassed. And with it, very subtle in my headphones, I can't hear anything. However, if I was on my monitors, I'm sure I would be able to. The next thing I do is use the stereo imager. Now, once again, I did reset everything, so nothing is as it was. So just right click and go to reset. I turn this on, and I usually turn my crossover to about 300 to 400 hertz. And I make the low band mono, and I keep the high band original. Any kind of width alternating or modulating would have been done in my mix, and I'm now in my master. I don't want to mess with that at all. I don't want to mess with the phasing of my beat. Nothing. EQ and stereo imager. Alrighty, now the next thing in line is this compressor. I won't even use this, to be honest with you. The compressor I like to use is located in the mixer itself, and I'll go ahead and show that for us. It's right up here at the top. Let's get this. Alright, this master compressor here, I'm going to turn it on, and I only want about compression in between these 2 points here, 0 and 4. And in order to get that, I'm going to move the threshold to the right until it sounds pretty invisible and also like glue at the same time. I don't want major limiting to my beat. I just want some glue, and that's it. And you'll understand what I mean when you hear it. So this is the beat without it. With it on, with it off, with it on. See how the drums have a little bit extra punch. So once again, I want to make sure that's hitting in a decent range, and it is. Gonna come up on the threshold a little bit so that it's not moving too much. And that's all I would do for that. Now, I could increase the makeup gain if I want to, but I won't, because overall we just increased the loudness of the transients. I will do my final limiting with the maximizer. So, gonna delete this compressor, and keep in mind, you do have these options here to change. So, if you wanted to keep it, the compressor would be fully automatable by this, whereas this is the threshold, and it's also controlling the ratio. This is going to turn it on and off. Right now it is bypassed. Now turning on my maximizer. What is it? Okay, yeah, that's per punch. Turning on my maximizer. I'm just going to use this to make sure that it's at a good level. So the meter I use is the YOULean loudness meter. It is free. I'll drop a link to it in the description. And I prefer using VST meters because they can hover over the rack and I don't have to scroll to look at them. So let's go ahead and play what we have. And now here we're looking at the reduction that the maximizer is doing. Now our short-term LUFS is at a pretty good level. Spotify is -14, that is their limit, and I believe Apple Music is -15. I can't remember the numbers. I have them somewhere, but they're easy to find if you do want to look them up, and I have another video with all the exact numbers. I'll go ahead and throw it up in a card above. So actually looking at pretty good numbers here. If I wanted to do like CD quality, back when the loudness wars was popping, then I would have my short term hitting at about -9, and that's pretty easy. All we have to do is turn up the output gain. Now, I don't like to do that because I like my beats to have dynamics. Some people say it's not loud enough, and some people say it's perfect. I say I don't need to crush my dynamics to have a great master on my beat. Alrighty, so with that being said, I just make sure that my short term is around -14 with all of my beats across the board. That's the exact number I shoot for. It doesn't have to be exactly -14, but something around there is perfect for me, just fine. I like dynamics in my beat. If you want to crush yours, do your thing. But I'm not gonna argue with you about it or anyone. That is my preference. So yeah, I use the EQ to cut out some of the vocal area, the vocal range. I use the stereo imager to make about 350 hertz and below mono. I kept the high band at unity at the original width. I did not use the compressor, the MClass compressor. I instead used the master compressor on the mixer as a glue. And then I used the maximizer to make sure that my beat is where I want it to be loudness wise. So really easy process. Keep in mind, if you do not have a great mix, you will not have a good master. Yo, disclaimer, if you are mastering a beat for an artist, please make sure that you leave at least 3 decibels of headroom for the mastering engineer after the vocals are laid down to work with. The purpose of mastering your beat is just to make sure that the levels are good, there's not, insane dips in volume, and you don't always want to go for the exact level that I'm going for. It's always going to depend on the genre of your beats. If you make hip-hop beats like me, then my levels are definitely worth going for. Otherwise, if you're classical or neo-soul, then you're definitely going to be in a quieter range. So once again, if you are making beats for an artist and you're mastering just to get your levels right, leave at least 3 decibels of headroom, okay? And the way that you know you have headroom is depending on your limiter. My go-to limiter, if I am not doing tutorials, for those of you who cannot buy plugins or will not buy plugins, the one I use is the FabFilter L2, and it allows me to set a ceiling on my output level. So -3 decibels, and that's what you would set it to. So if you have any limiter that allows you to set the ceiling, then you can do that there. You can also visually see the ceiling level on this meter as well. Although it's really small, you can zoom into it. Otherwise, if you are just mixing your beat for the purpose of mixing your beat, maybe you're making a beat tape, then I would say go for a ceiling of about 0.1 to 0.3 and you'll be safe. It's all preference based, but you never want to clip. Let me know what you would like to see next. It's all culture, kickback, and cook up. Also, drop down any tips you would like to share in the comments for other viewers. We all learn from each other. I think I said it's all culture, kickback, and cook up, but if not, I'm saying it again.